The following story is based on real events from my point of view. Due to self-incrimination and privacy, 98% of the pictures been blurred and 90 to 80% of the names been changed. Chapter 14, The Ace. Year 2010, I'm trying to stay the fuck out of trouble. I got to a lot of shit in Camden. At this time, Ryan Rail was locked up. I seen Trey was in 2010 and I haven't seen him since. Then Renegade, while he went to the military, while he was on his military break, he snapped and caught 7 felonies from burglary, armed robbery, grand theft auto, kidnapping, attempted murder. He just snapped and he ended up getting locked up while he was in the military, and he also went AWOL, so he was gonna do some serious time. And Duke was having a lot of shit going on in Columbia as well. So being that me and Duke had a lot of situations going on in South Carolina and we trying to better ourselves, we left South Carolina and went to Atlanta, Georgia. We stayed on SR 314 right beside Gobby Road, and that's where we used to hang out. And it's a small world because when I first got out there, I ran into Bobo, one of the niggas from Columbia that was cool with Duke. Duke was at the crib during this time, but I ran into Bobo at the gas station. And he was like, yo, what up, nigga? And he was like, I knew that was you because I seen that Scarface car. You the only nigga that drive that shit. The gas station we used to always go to was between Gobby Road and Old National. And it's crazy because one day me and Duke was out there and I'm at the post office trying to change my address and I didn't know what the date was. So I'm like, damn, what today's date is? And this dude behind me told me what the date was. I said, thanks. And then I looked back again like, yo, he looked mad familiar. So I got in the car with Duke and we was driving to the gas station. I said, yo, buddy at the post office look familiar. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he looked mad familiar. So when we get to the gas station, I see dude from the post office. I said, Duke, there he go. I said, yo, you know who he look like? That look like Webster. Duke said, Emmanuel Lewis? I said, yeah. Duke said, I'm gonna go ask him. I said, nah, don't do that because buddy gonna get offended. But Duke walked over there anyway. Next thing I know, Duke was like, yo, Jay, come here, it's him. So I was like, oh shit, what up? And we ended up taking a picture with him and shit right in front of the Scarface whip. I later found out seeing celebrities in Atlanta is real common. That was my first time seeing a celebrity though. Oh, I take that back because I seen Lil Scrappy performing at the main event, but that shit was cut short because niggas started fighting in there and they shut it down. That's how Columbia niggas was, man. But anyway, we've been in Georgia for about a week now, and on our first date in Georgia, we both smashed shorties. Our first night out there, yo. We used to bag shorties at this little club called the Mexican.
What the fuck going on, man?
From Gobby Road to Onet, I get that pack off. From Riverdale to the flag, I get that pack off.
Old National. My cousin Kay was up in there and he introduced us to some shorties and I ended up getting her number, and then later when I got home she hit me up. She came through, you already know what happened, but that was my first and last time messing with her because I was like, damn, this bitch 30. What made me say that is after we did our thing, she left and I seen her the next day at the gas station with the same clothes on. I'm like, oh hell nah. I told Duke, yo, if you mess with these shorties out here, you gotta be strapped because they dirty, yo, and they easy. It was so easy to get shorties because I had the Scarface whip and I had a lot of money. At this time, it was me, Duke, my sister, and her boyfriend D. We was staying at the apartment together, and I can't stand that bitch ass nigga D. But anyway, my sister was like, y'all be bringing too many shorties over here, because one day she came home, me and Duke in a room with 2 shorties, and we got like 3 more shorties sitting on the couch. We was getting that much shorties. One of the easiest spots to bag shorties was the Discount Mall on Old Nat. We used to always go out there and bag shorties. You get whatever you want out there. You get tattoos, clothes, weed, pussy, everything. That mall is crazy, yo. Not saying I would recommend you do that, but I'm just saying that's how wild it is. You can even get your hair braided up in that motherfucker and get a system installed into your car. While we was posted up there one day, we ran into the dude named QB. He's from Queens, New York. And we clicked immediately because we both from the same hood. And he put us on as model and shit. I wasn't feeling it because, you know, they used to want to straighten my hair and have me walk in a certain type of way. But I walked too hood for that shit, so that shit wasn't working out. And Duke ain't fuck with it because he was just lazy and didn't want to go. And, you know, they wasn't paying that much. But I did get offered the model, but that shit wasn't my style. I'd rather be an actor than a model. And that's what I was trying to pursue in Atlanta. Atlanta was mad different though, cause I seen some shit out there I ain't never seen. But now, what I'm about to tell y'all is real common, but that was my first time seeing this shit. But one day we had a little food line and this chick walking there. You could tell she had plastic surgery. She had a BBL, that's my first time seeing that, and fake titties and shit. And all the niggas in there trying to holler except for me because I don't like that fake shit. And I like petite women, so I wasn't even trying to holler. So at this time, Duke ain't had no job, so he in food line stealing some food. I went outside and was sitting in the car. As I'm sitting in the car, this gay dude gonna walk up in my car. Was like, yo, I'm like, what the fuck you mean, yo? He's like, nah. He's like, my sister wanna holler at you. I said, where she at? And then that person that I was just describing with the BBL came out and was like, yo, what's your number? And I hesitated because I was like, yo, something strange about this shit. Like, the motherfucker got a fake body and tall as hell, but I exchanged numbers. So later that night, when me and Deuce got to the crib, I texted the motherfucker, I'm like, send me pictures. And I noticed that all the pictures, the neck covered up and the legs crossed. And I'm like, yo, do you got any kids? She was like, no. I said, is that your real hair? She was like, yeah. And I'm asking these questions because I'm like, yo, something is off about this shit. So come to find out, she lived at the apartment across from my apartment. So I was like, yo, I'm about to walk over there, we gonna meet up. She was like, bet. So I told Duke, come with me because I don't trust this shit, yo. Something is telling me something ain't right. So when we walked to the apartment, I ain't gonna say the name because of what I did to that motherfucker. But when we walked to that apartment complex, I was like, yo, I'm here, come outside. The motherfucker was like, hey, I gotta tell you something. I said, what? She was like, I'm really a man. I said, I knew it. That's why I asked you those fucking questions. And I snapped, I was cursing them out, making threats and all that. And she was like, excuse me, I ain't gonna say she, cause that was a man. He was like, yo, I'm calling the police. I said, call me, bitch ass nigga. And I snatched the sign down from that apartment complex and just snapped. I don't play that shit. That motherfucker violated. You came at me, motherfucker. I ain't come at you. Like, that shit had me pissed off as a motherfucker. These motherfuckers need to stay in their lane. Stay in your community. I'm straight. I don't play that. You gay? Go holler at somebody gay. Don't come at me. I don't play that. As embarrassing as that story was, that story is 100% true. And that shit is embarrassing, but after that shit ain't never happened again. And I'm glad that's how far as it went. I don't see how niggas be getting fooled. Like, you can't fool me. I knew something was up. I think some niggas just want to be fooled, but that shit ain't gonna happen with me. You cannot fool me. I've been around too many women. I know what a female is. So right after that, I ended up bagging this shorty I met online, and I pulled up on her, and you know what happened after that. The shit was so easy, I gave her number to Duke. Duke called her right after I left, and she told him to pull up, and then he went there, and then he got the same business I got. I said, damn, she that easy? So for me, that was a one-time thing, because if she fucking with Duke, I don't want to fuck with her. But Duke wanted to continue fucking with her. So the next day, Duke was like, yo, take me to Riverdale, I want to go back to Shorty crib. I'm like, yo, tell her to bring a friend from me. So Shorty was like, I ain't got no homegirl for your homeboy, but I got my sister. And Duke was like, bet, we about to pull up. So when we pulled up, she came out the house and she seen both of us. You should have seen the look on her face. She was shocked because she ain't know we knew each other. And I was just laughing. I was like, man, where your home, where your girl, where your sister at? So her and Duke went in the room and I went in the room with her sister. While I'm chilling with her sister on the phone with her boyfriend. And I'm like, yo, hang that phone up, yo, what's up? So she told her boyfriend she gonna hit him back, and me and her got it in. Then we left right after that shit. And that's crazy how easy these shorties are and how fucked up they are. These shorties, ain't no loyalty out here in Atlanta. So around this time, my money started getting low. So I was like, damn, I gotta get a job because, you know, I tried to sell weed in Atlanta. I used to go to Old Town Villa on Gobby Road and pick up some work, but the price was different than South Carolina and everybody was selling weed. So I used to have weed just sitting on me because the people that used to come shop with me was getting it from somebody else. So I started losing money. And I decided that I'm gonna stop selling weed and try to get a job. Unfortunately, Duke had different plans. He wasn't even trying to work, and he damn sure wasn't selling no weed because we were supposed to be partners and selling weed together, but instead of selling it, he was smoking it, so I couldn't even build a partnership with him because he had a bad habit. So what he was doing was stealing food and stocking up our refrigerator by stealing food. Instead of contributing to the rent, he supplied us with food, I guess you could say. And D wasn't doing shit either. That motherfucker was selling liquor bottles and spending the money on weed instead of rent. So it was like me and my sister was the only one paying the bills. The shit was getting crazy. So before my money run out, I was like, shit, you know, it's almost time for Black Bike Week in South Carolina. I'm trying to pull up to the beach again. Especially now I'm in my prime because, you know, I normally bagging shorties like crazy. If I'm bagging them like this out here in Atlanta, I know when I get to South Carolina it's going down. But I knew Bike Week wasn't going to be the same without Ryan Rail, but unfortunately they both was locked up at this time. Right before we left Georgia, they got out, but then a few months later they went back in because Green Mafia caught a major case. They beat a nigga up real bad and he almost died. They almost caught lynching charges, but dude ended up surviving, so all they got was assault and battery, but they beat the shit out that nigga. I ain't gonna talk too much about it because that's their story, you know what I'm saying? But shit was wild and they both was locked up. So it looked like if I do go back to the beaches, it's gonna be me and Duke. Even though I was living in Atlanta, I still wanted to go to South Carolina and go to Myrtle Beach because that was like my favorite place. Like Atlanta was straight, but I ain't really too much in the clubs and shit. That's what everybody in Atlanta do though. So I said, man, fuck all this club shit, man. Let's go to Myrtle Beach. So me and Duke decided we was gonna go to Bike Week for the year 2010.